G'day Hammerheads, welcome back to the bench, and today we've got the Teal Terror, the mini Makita monster that drills really good or something. It's the DHR182. Now we have seen this little drill once or twice before, firstly in a granite runtime test that somehow was over a year ago. Like, where the hell does the time go? And also in a compact showdown video, so go check out those videos if you like. But long story short, she is actually the champion of the runtime. Oh yeah, look at that runtime. And she was also the champion of the compact drills that we tested there as well. Yeah, baby, #1. So today we're going to see her against all the bigger drills and basically everything else I've tested in this recent batch of testing. So let's dive right in. The features are basically, it is, quite a small, if slightly funny, unconventional pistol-shaped 3-mode rotary hammer. It does hammer only, unlike, most of the smaller drills in this class. Interestingly, it has that same kind of passive hammer mechanism where it doesn't actually hammer unless you're pressing. So Makita does that with their smaller hammers. Now Hilti does that with their newer one. I believe Hikoki, maybe one or two others do that. So I still don't fully know what the point of that is. They say it's to prevent dry hammering, and I wouldn't have thought that's much of an issue, given how these things work. But anyway, maybe it's just cheaper to make or something. So yeah, hammer drill only. It's compatible with dust extraction too, fits on those rails. It has a gate underneath for the fan to aspirate dust through the dust extractor. It's also compatible with the Bluetooth switch. And it has an interesting sort of articulated midsection here, so it seems like the motor is back here, hammer component up here, and they've just made it a bit wiggly for your vibration dampening there. Other than that, the notable thing really is the shape. So it's quite long in the handle, and the battery is slightly swept down a little bit. So that does give it quite a nice balance for drilling upwards. Just like some of the Hikokis we've seen lately. But because of the center of gravity and also just the low weight, it's also, pretty good for wielding one-handed as well. But it's got that funny thing with pistol grips where you tend to want to hold it sort of like that, or even, up there. So it's all right, but really this is really going to be a small two-handed drill rather than a one-hander, I reckon, for most applications. All right, so let's look at the specs. The Makita DHR182, also known as the XRH12, currently costs $309 and unfortunately that's gone up by about 10% recently. Weight 2.1 kilos. Capacity 18 millimeters. Impact energy 1.7 joules. 5,000 impacts per minute. And that makes the impact power theoretically 8,500 joules per minute. And the RPM they reckon at 1350. And if we compare to the other 18 millimeter hammers, so this is the older Hilti, she theoretically is not as powerful as that one, but is also a little bit smaller, fair bit cheaper. And the little Hikoki, more powerful, but fair bit heavier. And let's check the revs. So 1342 according to this, just shy of the 1350. Not too bad. And if you've been wondering what the deal is between the DHR171 and the 182, basically this one revs a lot slower. So this one still drills pretty fast. Basically this one seems like it's meant to be more of a one-handed drill because the lower revs make it easier to control with one hand, whereas this guy basically meant to be a two-handed drill. So let's get drilling. For the hammers of about this size and smaller, I like to do an 8mm drill bit. So that's 8 by 80 mil, which is a bit more realistic for a small hammer like this to be drilling. So let's see how she goes. Alright, so for the 8mm speed drill, the Teal Terror came in second place in this little cohort here. 7.03 seconds, averaging up a few of those runs. Just behind the older Hilti, and almost a second faster than the Killer Bee. Next up, we've got the 12 by 80mm speed drill. So this is something that all the hammers do. so she'll be compared to basically every other hammer I've done in this test. Alrighty, for the 12 by 80mm speed drill, the Teal Terror has come up, or 1, 2, 3, 4th place. Very nicely done, 10.02 seconds average there. So it's only beaten by much bigger hammers, so that's 28, these guys are 26, but then it also beat a couple of 26s, so that one there, 26, that one's 26, this one here is a 22. Oh boy, this thing really is a little power packet. Now, interestingly, in this test, it is actually in front of the Hilti a little bit. And I think it's because in this test, the drill bit goes in real tight. So the TE4 here had a little bit more torque to deal with the dust binding up in the hole. Whereas with the 12mm, that's not so much of a problem. So I think whatever secret sauce in the hammering this guy is doing, just inched it ahead of the Hilti there. And finally, we got the max capacity. So she's rated to 18mm. That is about that big. So same depth, same concrete. Let's see how fast she can do it. And wouldn't you just know it, in first place in the max capacity test, we've got the Teal down here. So this is really interesting to me. You know, the max capacity is basically what the manufacturer reckons it can handle without breaking. So in this case, I think, you know, maybe she could handle a little bit more, maybe 20, even 22mm, but still very, very nicely done there. So there you go, hammerheads. The Teal Terror really does continue to deliver the goods. I think this is a really, really nice size of tool. I think, you know, 18mm or, you know, more like 20, 22. This kind of medium size rotary hammer, I think is perfect for a lot of applications. Nice and light, very powerful, pretty cheap. Overall, it's a real winner. If you are on Team Teal or if you are looking to get into it, I think this is going to be a real nice hammer for you. I mean, there's not really that much more to say, I don't think, other than hammer on. Oh, wait.